saw the DJ's booth. It was like a shrine. Within the week, I quit my job. People must think I'm crazy to say that one day I'll be sharing the stage with David Guetta. Nothing is impossible. I only had basically $1. All I had left on my feet were hotel slippers. You can be a master of a lot of things, but if you think like a beginner, that's also an edge.
What's up, everyone? Today I have a very unique guest, possibly a rising poker star. Patty Tiu, who did not come from poker originally. She's an accomplished DJ from the Philippines. Amongst other things, she's branched out into multiple other worlds now, such as entrepreneurship, Web3 as well, and is adding poker to her resume, launching off a little bit of a career in Vietnam. Patty, would you say that's accurate? How's the poker career going?
It definitely humbled me a lot. That's what I can tell you. I thought it was going to be like a smooth ride, and then bam, it's just like it crushes you. I thought I was a resilient person already, but being in the poker industry, uh, it's a lot harder than it seems.
That's quite something for you to say, considering how talented you are as one of the top DJs of Asia, officially ranked, to my knowledge. I was getting to that in a second. Yeah, I would think, especially with your background DJing to me is kind of like video games in some kind of way. Entrepreneurship seems easier than poker, and so does Web3. Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I'm not really surprised that it's as difficult as it is, because I found that literally doing anything is hard, as it turns out, no matter how talented you are. But can you talk about some of the transition, some of the things that are similar to the other fields that you know about, and also the difficulties you faced?
I could compare poker when it comes to performing, when I perform in a crowd that I'm not familiar with. Because poker is a game of incomplete information, right? And when I am done with a crowd in front of me that I haven't played for, it kind of has the same feeling, but you just have to apply the same things, like your fundamentals, fundamental knowledge in poker, fundamental knowledge in mixing music. That's how I would compare poker to me as a DJ or as a performer, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that makes lots of sense. What you're comparing it to would be in poker that you can have kind of like a population read, and so what you do is you do this against the population. Like one thing I often talk about is just to delay c-bet with the follow through works great against. Is there anything between entrepreneurship and poker or Web3? Because it seems like a lot of people also come from that too. In addition, knowing about your difficulties as well.
I guess I could lean more into the music side or performer side. When I do a routine in DJing, and I'm not sure if the crowd in front of me will like it. It's kind of like bluffing another player, and just testing it out first and seeing like how they would react to it.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, this makes sense to me. Yeah. You kind of have to do that poker too. You have to like try things and see if they'll work or not. But what difficulties have you faced? Or do you not want to talk about those with poker?
In general,
Yeah.
I think it's more. If I'll be honest about it, it's wanting to do it fully, but not having the means for it. Because you could be like as passionate in poker. You can say that this is what I want to do. This is what I want to pursue. But really, it all boils down to, do you have the bankroll for it? Mind you, like Dan, nobody taught me what a bankroll management was. When I got into poker, I was entering fields that were not fit for a neophyte. Like, I guess I explored poker mostly by myself, and of course I've lost a lot. And I'm pretty sure you've also had your own stories when you were starting, but I had to endure it on my own. Like, I didn't have anybody to tell me like, hey, don't enter that tournament because that's a mini high roller tournament. You gotta have at least this much bankroll, blah 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 blah. Nobody taught me that.
Yeah. It sounds like, yeah, entering a new space is tricky probably because you don't know, okay, like, what should you watch out for?
Yeah.
Like, if this tournament's
Yeah.
going to be really tough, like that kind of stuff.
When I got into it, then I was just like, oh, I have spare money from what I earned for the entire month, and well, I'm gonna use it for my tournament fee to buy in for this event. But they taught me that you're supposed to have at least much like even in cash on cash games. Like I was going into house games, losing a lot constantly from meeting new people in the poker industry, knowing that or thinking that they were going to be my new friends or like a new crowd. And because I was excited, I wasn't thinking clearly. And then I was just like, I thought poker was just about uh, bluffing and scaring the next player. If the player if the player next to you is going to challenge your hand or not, it was so what my surface level knowledge in poker really got me in a lot of trouble. I guess I didn't have some sort of guide or a go-to person or a group who would be able to guide me. Because at that time when I was getting into poker here in the Philippines, it was the people I was around with has been poker players for years, like 10 years, 15 years. I barely had anybody in my circle that was also as new as I was. So they were really experienced grinders. Like looking back now, looking back at that and thinking about all the things that happened to me in poker, it just dawned me that nobody even warned me. I was like, wow, nobody even like tried to warn me or like of course I'm still accountable with my decisions, right? Because still depends on us. But it just dawned me like, wow, nobody warned me not to buy in there, don't go to that house game, don't get into this, don't get into that.
That's actually a really good point because that probably is one of the toughest things for kind of all beginners. And like, really, like a lot of poker's not really that hard aside from like sifting through a lot of unknown information. But yeah, I never really thought of that actually. This is a big reason for why VIPs they're a little flustered when they go into the games because they don't know like what's safe, what's not, like when to have an edge or anything.
Oh,
It's tough. But this is also why. Well, maybe you've got like a bunch of DJ friends that will play against each other, or I would think there's some kind of DJ game or like something like this.
oh, we actually have like a crypto, a Web3 poker night, a Web3 poker night group. But I never had the time to join them because I was already in Vietnam. I was already set in my goal in trying to pursue a professional route in poker, which was if you ask me, it was definitely a huge mistake, but it's a mistake that I needed to experience. It really did humble me. It humbled me a lot. And I'm still here anyway. Still playing poker.
It's even in those games, it can be still a little daunting. I mean, I would think relatively might be easier than I would think it's easier than figuring out entrepreneurship or Web3, but maybe it's just always a process.
Oh.
But I want to talk more about your actual career, DJ, because it seems like you just kind of, from what I read, it seems like you just kind of like made it happen. That's what I understand is you were just like,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
you just kind of worked really hard, and then at least at some point people started hearing about you, and that's how you built your career. You're just like straight up.
Yeah.
Is that right?
One of my other sponsors that loves to make me talk about them, GTO Wizard. To be fair, their stuff is pretty fucking good. And now they've got like three-way pots and all kinds of stuff for actually working on your game. It is really useful, to be fair.
Yeah, so thinking that I was able to do that in my other careers, when I got into poker, I was thinking, hey, all the other things that I used to do, I was able to soar high. And every now and then there will be like really, really big challenges, but I am able to overcome it. And it elevated me more as an artist, as a creative, and as a person in general. When I got into DJing, I became successful. When I got into acting with zero experience in acting, I still got to score a movie and a series. I think I became too cocky when I got into poker. So so having that information and having the experience in all the other things that I used to do, yeah, poker is definitely like super special. It's very special. Something that I can say I'll be doing along with music for a very, very long time.
I guess that makes sense. Well, how long did it take you? Can you describe actually the process of becoming a well-known DJ artist? Because I imagine, I mean, there must be countless nights where you play and don't really get paid that much, right? To become a well-known DJ, you played with like David Guetta, Stevie Aoki, and like some pretty legit names. I actually you kind of remind me a bit of Stevie Aoki, actually. He's a bit of a polymath also.
Yeah, he plays a lot of poker and he also does a lot of things. He's into other things besides his music. And I know he plays poker too.
You should play poker with him. Steve.
I should play poker with you first.
I don't like taking not people who aren't professionals money too much. We'll play small stakes.
To answer your question, I think it was also a big part of it is timing. Because when I was starting in the industry, in the nightlife industry here in the Philippines, it was the golden era of EDM or electronic dance music. So that was when the music festivals started to rise. Like events here and there, like every weekends they'd be flying in Avicii, David Guetta, Afrojack, Armin van Buuren. I got into DJing in 2011. I could say that it was something that I was destined for it.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by that? What does it mean that you feel that you're destined for it? I'm just curious.
I knew that even when I was younger, I loved entertaining people. I belonged on stage. I just know that I have the energy that can be shared to a group of people. Mind you, when I started in DJing, like I wasn't even earning anything. I would sleep on on the bean bags of the studio and teach myself. I didn't have like a coach to teach me how to play because I watched too many dramatic movies. I was thinking like, everything starts here. Like the underdogs are underdogs for a reason, and if they work hard enough and they believe in themselves, they can actually achieve whatever their goals are.
Sure. That's kind of true. I mean, maybe if you extend enough time out, yeah, but definitely I like to believe in that idea.
I guess what I'm trying to say is the power of believing in yourself plays like a big factor in trying to achieve something that you want to do.
Sure. No, that's definitely true. For sure. Almost like almost delusionally think it's possible.
Yeah. You gotta be a little bit insane to try. Of course, when before achieving something, we'd think like, people must think I'm crazy to say that one day I'll be opening for Armin van Buuren, or one day I'll be sharing the stage with David Guetta. I only kept saying that or picturing that in my head, and then eventually, a year or so, it did really happen. So, to others it may sound crazy, but if you work hard enough and you have the skills for it, yeah, nothing is impossible, really.
Well, you're preaching to the choir over here, but probably the people watching that probably need to hear that, especially. So what does that look like to have like an insane? I presume you have an insane work ethic. What did that look like in terms of your effort?
For me, an insane work ethic would be being highly obsessed with it. You talk about it nonstop. You think about it. It's the first thing that you think about. The last thing you think about. Even you talk about it to people who don't even who don't even understand it. You keep running it back to your head when you make a mistake, and then try to draw a plan. Any time of the day, you may be in the shower. You're preparing dinner, and then it's just there. It's always gonna be there. It's forever there. That's insanity, man. Like, I don't know.
But okay, well, what about shows and like working on your music on the side? I presume you're doing every. Are you doing like like I don't know how many shows that you would get at the start. You would have to like apply constantly, right? Be the similar as a poker player trying to be like, hey, can I play in this game? Can I play in this game, that kind of thing.
It's a lot different now these days because we have TikTok, we have social media, right? When I was starting in the industry, all we had was Facebook. Instagram wasn't even like a thing yet. It was Facebook first, and then Twitter. What I would do before was to actually really get in touch with the bars, the managers. I go to my friends, my DJ colleagues' nights. If they have a gig there, I'm gonna visit the place, the venue. It's not like I'm gonna steal the gig from them, okay? It's just me. It's just me also trying to check out the scene. If it's a place or a venue that my music will be fit, if I'm fit for the place, if they have any open night. It really started as like we call it mano mano, meaning you really gotta work hard and get in touch with people. Yeah, you have to text blast, almost the same as doing cold calls when you're trying to sell something. So the only difference is you're selling yourself as a service, I guess. It's almost the same as like finding a job when you're trying to apply for a job. The only difference is it's at night. Second, there's alcohol involved. Third, there's loud music. And there's a lot of dancing and it's chaotic, right? It's madness.
That's for the poker players. They should run around trying to head up everyone trying to get into the games. I think if poker players did that, they would have no problem getting action. But they're all lazy as when it comes to asking into games. From what I've seen, a lot of people they struggle to get into games in order to play in many games. They cry, and they think they try to like they're upset with private games. Although the whole private game thing is good because like especially if you're new to poker, it's good if people who play private play with each other instead of all the top pros or whatever somehow feel entitled to beginners money. Yeah, you may not know this, but this is a common problem amongst the high stakes pros, etc., for example, or the mid stakes pros. But they, to my knowledge, are very bad at trying to figure out, okay, I need to ask for these kinds of games. But it sounds like kind of similar, except like maybe it sounds like you need to work harder as like a DJ coming out. This just seems way more competitive. Like how many people are trying to become like a famous DJ in like Asia? It must be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine.
It is. Competition's really bad, especially these days. Anyone can be famous these days too, right? Like online. If they have like a TikTok video that went viral, if the producer of the event sees that and they're into drawing like more people to buy tickets and like more sales for their event, they end up getting the new era. We call it the TikTok DJs. They end up getting them, but almost always there's going to be a problem because one, TikTok DJs would probably be like a poker player who only knows how to play hyper turbo, and you put that hyper turbo poker player into doing like a long, like the actual what's the longest per level? 12 minutes?
The longest is an MCT on average. Anyway.
Yeah.
I play catch games that are longer than these fucking MCTs, but generally it's an MCT.
Mm-hmm.
I have played 72-hour session, but it's very rare. So MCTs are the longest hours. Like you don't really play from 12 to.
That's how I would compare it. Like if you compare me, like they call us the old school already. The old school millennial DJs, pre TikTok era. We would be like you guys, like the content creators, poker content creators, like I wouldn't say Rampage, no, because he still knows how to play a proper format. Like Seti poker, something like that.
I just never thought of this at all. Um, I didn't think there were like similar versions of poker, like variations of DJing or whatever. It's just like you go to a club and you DJ. Why don't we talk about a bit more of your other little ventures, or your other many ventures, I should say. For one thing, I didn't even mention that you're on a couple of TV shows, so you're a bit of a TV star too. Yeah, I guess you're an actor also. I didn't realize that. Well, you've transitioned to a few things, to say the least. One of which being acting, as you're a bit of a movie star. You've been in 2 movies, which is quite an accomplishment. They don't seem to be small movies, too. Contradiction and Fit Check. I feel like I've heard of Fit Check. I need to check what roles you have, though. The roles matter a bit in movies. That's one thing that people don't. Fairly in pop culture, too. An entrepreneur and Web3 as well. And supporting the developing artists. So I'm curious, what's the story behind getting into all those things? Because did you have to become famous in order to do that? Was it easy once you became famous?
I wouldn't say easy, but you definitely have an advantage when you sort of have already built uh, a solid foundation of who you are in the entertainment realm, right? There's film, there's TV, there's nightlife, there's live events. So it's a bunch of different branches of entertainment. Once I was able to establish me as a DJ, and I know that that foundation is strong, that's the only time I started going and shift into other areas. But I made sure first that my credibility is strong. I am a highly skilled and talented DJ. And then that's the only time I ventured into other areas. Because it would be hard if like you had mediocre skills as a DJ and then you started venturing to other areas. I think that would be an odd thing to do. I guess it's mastering what you pursued in the beginning and who you really want to be known as, and then that's the time that you can actually explore into other areas of entertainment, or it could even be outside entertainment.
Well, that makes lots of sense. For all those aspiring polymaths out there, yeah, it makes lots of sense. I wanted to know a bit more about the story. Like, which one did you go into first of all? And second, like, was it easy between all of them? Poker could totally go easy, actually. There's a few different ways where that could happen. You could have just found the right group of people that happen to be, like, be rich and want to just play and not be very good.
I actually started as a 9 to 5 corporate job. And then, yeah, I started a corporate job first before I got into DJing. I worked in a call center. So I answer calls. That's my job. That's my role. I take care of a credit card fraud. Yeah, stop. I take care of credit card fraud. My department was dispute by phone. So how it goes is if you get a bad merchandise from what you ordered, our department takes care of that. I was fairly young. I was 18 years old. And then it was the first time I went out in a club. And as soon as I entered the club, I saw the DJ's booth and it was like a shrine. It's like Jesus was there when I entered, when I entered the club. It went slow motion in my vision. And in my head, I didn't even know what a club is, what a DJ was. When I saw the DJ in the club, it was Cascade. Immediately in my head, I was like, whatever the he's doing, that's what I want to be. And Like within the week, I quit my job. I got my back pay. I didn't know how I was gonna do that. I didn't know anybody. Like I could only hear like a commercial, an advertisement about like a DJ school in a city close to where I live. And then I went there and it was just it was just a lot of balls, really. A lot of having a tough stomach because you're gonna encounter a lot of rejections too. Because there's going to be a lot of gatekeeping in. I mean, it happens in all industries as well, but in the music and nightlife and entertainment industry, expect that you will help yourself. Like you have to help yourself. You have to support yourself. Like you can't count on anybody, especially at the start.
Makes a lot of sense. The nightlife and music industry sounds incredibly ruthless. I was actually asking about your transition from that to other industries, but before we go into that, I'm curious about how you dealt with this medical condition that affected your mobility. Isn't it quite important for DJs to move around? Whenever I see the DJs, they're just going like you know what I mean? They're hopping around, especially in nightlife.
Yeah, yeah. The medical condition has always been there. There was some sort of like rumor here that I had eating disorders. Like I wasn't eating so I could stay thin, and I had to correct the person who was spreading those rumors because it was affecting like the young girls, like people that look up to me. I didn't want them to think that I was thin because I chose to be thin or I wasn't, I was having unhealthy ways so I could look, visually pleasing or thin. So the only reason that got publicized, my health condition, was because I had to tell the truth that, okay, I only look thin because I have this illness that I've been hiding for a while. It didn't bother me to answer your question. I guess my pain tolerance, given the amount of tattoos that I have, I think you can tell that it's pretty high. My pain tolerance is like through the roof.
Definitely helps in becoming successful. I pain tolerance.
Yeah, exactly. That is true. But man, like, can I just say that it's the one thing that made me cry, and I don't cry a lot, okay? And when I cry, it means I'm very affected with it. So when I was still new in poker, it was one of the things that made me cry, getting a bad beat because I know that I played well, right? And then bam, last like on the river, bam.
So have you not faced tough issues with like entrepreneurship, for example? Because entrepreneurship is pretty tough. Like that could make some people cry, I would think. But maybe you haven't had like too many difficulties with that one. I don't know.
I never saw it that way. I never looked at it at that perspective at all. So thanks for saying that. Thanks for mentioning that. But it doesn't bother me anymore. Promise. I only tell myself like, I played my game. That's fine. It happens. It's part of it. I could compare it to having like a bad DJ set, even though I had the best songs. Like I had the vibe, I prepared for it, and if the crowd's dead, then it's something that I can't control, right? That's how I would compare a bad to a DJ set that doesn't give me fulfillment.
So have the DJ sets made you upset also? Has it not made you cry ever to have like a bad set with like a tough load of people? That seems pretty crazy.
My personality is like I'm such an extremes. Like I could be extremely like into it, and then I could be extremely like not be interested. So when I'm on the high mode, everything matters. Like the littlest details, not just 100%. Like it's more of it.
I never thought of this kind of comparison. Yeah, I never really thought it would go that deep, actually. I still would like to know a bit more of your story of how you transitioned. So which happened first? The acting or
Okay.
the Not the business.
I guess the projects just started to come in. I didn't have to do what I was so used to doing, like chasing them in the beginning. Now, after establishing myself as Zap DJ, the projects were coming to me. I didn't have to chase the opportunities. It was going to me. All I had to do was like say yes or no to it.
I mean, I imagine you have to filter a bit through some because sometimes the opportunities kind of blow. As I've learned in business, there's certainly some caveats of sorts when it comes to certain things.
One example would be a really good opportunity comes, right? Like the paycheck's good, the exposure is good, big crowd, but then they require me to wear something specific, and I know that either I'll be uncomfortable or it's not who I am. It's something that I would, of course, I have to weigh on a lot of things, but if I know that it doesn't fit me, it's something that I would decline. I now have the option to say no, say yes or say no, and I don't have to chase them. It comes when it comes. It comes when it's for you. It's for you.
Well, what other lessons did you learn from, say, poker to, or Web3 to poker, rather, or entrepreneurship to poker, or, I mean, even be DJ Web3? Any other lessons, big lessons between these various areas that you're interested in, or various areas that you're involved in?
Because I crossed so many industries, I feel like there's a different lesson for each one. But
If you'd like a couple then, or if you can think of two,
okay.
or three would be nice.
Okay. Top three would be everything is temporary. That's one.
That's a good one.
Seize the moment because it may never happen again. Or if it does happen again, it happens in a different setting. I said not because I have some moments where I look back now and I think, or in my head, I'm thinking, I wish I enjoyed that moment because I was too busy hammering myself into, okay, what's next? What am I going to do next? How am I going to make this one bigger? How can I be better than all these DJs? Like, you know, and third would be always be a beginner. Always have a beginner mindset. That's why I have like a white belt tattoo in jujitsu. When I train jujitsu, it's something that I kept in me. You can be a master of a lot of things, but if you think like a beginner, that's also an edge.
It's an edge to be a beginner.
Having a mindset
Oh,
of a
okay,
beginner.
okay, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely say if I just like never assumed too much.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. If I get three bet out of position, automatically I'm gonna fold. I'm gonna fold my hand. But now, because I know and I've been studying, I now know that when I get three bet and I know that I kind of have like a good stack, now I do this four bet jam thing. Instead of me saving my stack, I get busted. Knowing a lot, understanding a lot, but also like just making it simple, having a mindset of a beginner also makes it worthwhile and easier for us when we make our decisions, guys.
Makes sense. I will say everything just sure seems harder than it appears. Just always assuming it's gonna be hard. Like might be good in poker, even if you're like experienced. By the way, as I learned yesterday, even if you think, like blah blah blah, you're so good, blah blah blah,
Exactly.
real fast. You think anything poker, it teaches you that really fast. Poker does not reward arrogance. That's for sure. I would guess that.
Yeah, I remember like some of my decisions that were based because of my ego. I always pay. Like either I bust or I lose like a really, really big stack. So that was one of the lessons in my early days in getting into poker is that because I have this attitude on stage and apparently that attitude on stage I can't always bring it when I'm on the poker table. I gotta tone it down a little bit. It's like being able to play around the different personalities that I have. Like I can be aggressive and loud and be like me, Patty, when I'm performing. But also I can bring out like my Zen side on the poker table. Like I'm so excited.
Like, we have too many robots
Yeah.
there. They're so annoying.
Don't worry. I have playful moments, but then I also have like my robot moments. It's really hard to read me.
Hard to read you, by the way. Like, it's really hard to like put all the pieces together. Unless like
Yeah.
you get really energetic and then you don't get energetic when you're bluffing, for example, or when you're at a medium hand.
Sometimes I get to use my acting skills too. That's
Yeah.
an advantage.
That's just tricky.
Actually, acting with reverse psychology, making them think that I have it, that I'm nervous, but really I don't have it. It's just like a insanity, insane.
Very, very tricky with that because they can think like weak is strong, strong is weak, like that stuff.
Yeah.
People think that a lot. Basic reading people, but they're not very good at like the next level, I would say. Also, support the creatives through building communities to help them succeed. That doesn't sound easy at all. As someone who's tried to help,
No, it's not. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I ended up getting broke because of it.
yeah, drawing the fly.
You end up using like out of pocket money, right? To build this beautiful thing, this idea that you think will help others. And then like towards the end, you realize that, okay, I'm putting so much of my own, like my own earnings that is not getting back to me. It's like I'm putting so much on it, and then that.
I know this one for sure.
Yeah, it's not easy at all. I did. I stopped, but I never yielded in helping these people, uh, my fellow artists, get opportunities. I couldn't put up like a studio, or maybe I couldn't give as much as I wanted to, as planned, but opportunities and network and wisdom, I could still support them in that sense.
Oh, that's nice of you. I hope that they're returning the favor, by the way, because some people don't return the favor in that direction.
I always get credited when somebody makes it, and it nothing can compare the feeling. No amount of money or possession can replace it. Like you being a part of the growth of that person or success or story. Yes.
Well, I'm glad it's paying off in some kind of way. Regarding like supporting creative artists, there's a way to make that work. It's called selling to the rich ones, or rather, that's actually not the best way to say it.
Finding the rich people to back you and fund the project.
I would say at least like getting a return on your time in a way that makes sense. I mean, this is what Alex Tramosi says. He says to sell the rich clients, but really what it is helping the people who have something first, have some kind of asset first, because then you can help the small people. The only way the small people can pay is somewhere in the future, right? That's the only way that ever makes any sense, is if the small people can return the favor long term in the future, or you get like a shitload of them, right? That's the only way it makes any kind of business sense. Like, even I realize that the world has to work this way too, but basically it makes sense to help the people that already have something in the first place to reach a higher state, like yourself. Like that makes, but that's kind of what I came to the conclusion to, because my own business, as I was trying to help the poker players become successful, it had no shot of making money at all, unless like I fired my little team, or basically just like until I just started selling high ticket offers. That's the only way. That was the only way, and the only thing that made any sense with my time too. But yeah, the community businesses aren't very easy if that's your main focus on business. From what I learned, I've gone a bit down a few business rabbit holes of sorts, and not the easy way. Let me tell you. But yeah, that appears to be how that dynamic works.
I think I was so highly focused on community building, growing the community, cultivating it, helping others. Because I was so focused on that, I ended up forgetting about nurturing myself. And we all know that in order for us to take care of others or of other people or a group, we have to be able to like nurture ourselves first. I have to be able to take care of myself first before I can care for others or think about their growth. I have to focus on my personal growth first. Is this really what I want? Or is this something that I think people expect of me? Like those are internal things.
So, are you no longer a woman in the community?
I would say that I'm with them now. I'm a part of them. I also need some help. What I can say is that in the DJing side, I still am the go-to person of like the youngsters. The up and coming DJs always they can feel that I'm someone that they can go near to or approach because not everyone in the DJ industry is easy to talk to. It's very intimidating. Like I put myself in the position of a beginner DJ, especially in these times, and it's a different time now. So it's good that I still am considered when they feel like they wanna get some wisdom from someone who's already gone through what they have not yet.
I feel like it should kind of work similarly to becoming famous in the first place, to building your name in some kind of way, but it just might be even more effort, is my personal guess. It's really hard to like make that kind of thing practically work because, as you can find out, there's not a whole lot of money about it. There's not a lot of money, and being a community leader of sorts, it's just
It's something that you do where you don't expect any return, right? It's something for the soul. At some point, when
we have lost money on it, but you're rich inside.
if you ask me now, is money important to you? Yeah, yes, it's important because like 10 years ago, if you asked me like, is money important to you? I would say it's just money. Money is like it's just paper. It's something that comes and goes. And now in my state now, like older, wiser, more resilient and more practical in life. I need that money to be able to do the things that I want, to put up the things that I want, like to share that money to people who I think deserves it, like things like that.
There's probably a whole lot of people watching this are probably thinking, "Well, dude, I want to make money. I don't care about the soul." Unfortunately. Well, what advice to creatives would you give if they're about to start now? And would it be different than aiming for money? Would you have done things differently considering you didn't do everything for money?
If you happen to play some live poker, you got to know what the rake is. You got to know what realistic win rates are. You got to know this kind of stuff. Speaking of which, on the Jungleverse, we provide many resources to help many of you up-and-coming players in order to avoid many pitfalls that many people play, also to avoid getting cheating. We provide some details of what to look out for. We have a map of what the best online sites are to play at and why, and what kind of games you're looking for. If you want to try your luck and try to strike it rich, playing tournaments, why not? The math's a bit against you. We have the resources for that too.
If they're going to start now and they're just doing it for the money, but having a career and having a job are two different things. So if they're just there to clock in and out, just to get a few big blinds and then go home, and wait for a fish and then bust one out and then go home. If that works for them and that makes them happy, I'm telling you, it's completely fine. It's totally fine. Depending also on the kind of living condition that they have. It depends on the scenario, I guess.
Well, would you do things or would you live just for the money, or you're happy becoming a community lady and pursuing the passion and all that?
I have lived days where I only had basically $1. That's $1 maybe. Because I was in Vietnam and yeah. And all I had left On my feet were hotel slippers. I had to run away from my hotel because I couldn't pay for it anymore. Because I kept losing in the underground games in Vietnam, in the underground cash game.
Really?
And then,
You lost?
it really came to a point where I lost everything
From poker?
because I wanted to pursue it so bad and wanted to, I guess,
Really?
prove not just to myself, but like I think it's the competitive side in me too, to prove that I've done it before, I can do it again. And that was the ego thing. That was the ego part that made me like humbled. And in the beginning, when I was experiencing it, I kept asking myself, like, what did I don't deserve this. I've done this, blah, 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 blah. Like, why is this happening to me? But now that I'm back in the Philippines and I'm starting to get my life back together in order, I'm DJing again. I can still play poker. I would still be doing mistakes here and there, of course, because I'm a human being. What I can say is that I don't regret the things. I don't regret my decisions in Vietnam when I wanted to like really go all out into pursuing poker and not coming home to the Philippines without a trophy. I really zeroed out my like all my earnings, all my savings. That's the part where I was telling you in the beginning, like I wish somebody just warned me or told me. But then, of course, knowing me as a hard-headed person, even if somebody tells me otherwise, I'd still be doing.
It sounds pretty crazy. It sounds like kind of a rough trip. Yeah, and tournaments especially
Yeah.
can be, if people don't even know the variant of cash games of tournaments, it can be really, really annoying to navigate. So, sir, there should be some kind of navigation course of, probably is something I should make, how to deal with this. Because, yeah, you should have like 100 buy-ins for tournaments.
Yes.
It's not too easy.
When I was getting into it, I thought like if you just had the amount of the buy-in, go. You're free to go. That's one of the things that got me into deep trouble. Like I ended up having to let go of some of my businesses because I was so hard into pursuing into getting a trophy. I wasn't even into like winning like the prize. It was the trophy. And then when I got home, my sister was like, I wish we just like had a trophy made for you, if that was what was you were aiming for. And then I was laughing my. So I was like, that's just gonna cost us what, $10? And like, look at you, you up your life, la la la. Of course, I was getting all the nagging right from my sisters, from my mom. But then, like at the end of the day, when I think about it, like it's my life, and I decided that I'm happy I went through it. I'm happy I'm still here. And mind you, like there are many times I just wanted to like jump off like the building because I was like, this is not the ending that I was aiming for in my story. I was like, what? I lost it all. I worked so hard into getting all these things, and then boom, lost it all because of poker or pursuing poker. And I also didn't want the sport or poker in general. I don't want them to say that, hey, I told you so. Poker is bad for people. Like it's gambling, blah, blah, blah. Especially in the place that I come from in the Philippines. Any card game here is bad. And I didn't want them to win. I wanted them to see that the rise should be emboldened. Like, it's important for people to see that, yes, I made mistakes. I got into it, but it's not what broke me. I broke me. Like, the mistakes were made by me, not by poker.
It makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it is a game of skill ultimately, but there's loads of like a lot of stuff that happens in between. Like a lot of stuff in between. 100%. It's just that it cannot be a game of skill for a really long time. Let's put it like that. I'm curious, by the way, of the difficulties that you've encountered from poker as being like a woman, but also in like the music and crypto space. I don't know if music's male dominated, but I know crypto is. I mean, poker is. I don't really know if entrepreneurship is actually. Acting's not, I don't think. What's your experience like in these different fields, especially the ones where it's men dominated?
What I can tell you is that most of the things that I got into, it's mostly male dominated. I got into jiu-jitsu, it's male dominated. I got into powerlifting when I could still lift heavy.
Jiu-jitsu sounds like the weirdest to me. That sounds weird. It's like, it's like the guys are like tackling you, basically.
Well, it's like wrestling in pajamas. That's how I can describe jiu-jitsu. If you know the technique, you know that it's useful in dire times that you won't have a weapon or you can't be like on a close guard like how they do in wrestling, right? And just a piece of clothing can actually save your life. So that's what I love about it.
But also think about your answer for the other industries. I want to hear what your experience is like for the other industries too. By the way, with the jiu-jitsu thing, I would think the issue is that there's a bunch of guys tackling you. So it's kind of like, this is what some girl told me, I think, was that in jiu-jitsu, it's a bunch of guys like kind of wrestling with you. It's kind of like vaguely sexual, you know what I mean? If it's the same gender, it's not. You don't really have that problem.
Oh, okay. That is if you're in the wrong jiu-jitsu academy or
Sure.
you're in the wrong jiu-jitsu dojo, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, what's your experience like in the other industries?
In the DJing industry, of course, it's heavily male dominated when I entered the scene, but now it's different. It's no longer male dominated. It's kind of equal already. Actually, there's more women
Really?
yeah, there's more women these days.
That's really interesting.
But anyway, one of the downsides of entering the DJ scene as a female, as a woman, would be to be marketed as a female. And I hate that. It's just like when I got into the scene, I was one of the DJs that's a woman who asked event organizers to remove the word female DJs or sexiest or the hottest DJs. Because when they market DJs, like the guys, the dudes, right? It's just the names, the logos, and the images. And then when it's us, it's like the hottest Wednesday night. And I'm like, yeah, of course, we know we're hot, right? But we're skilled too. And we sound good and we perform well. Of course, being hot or being visually appealing is an addition to that. But we're DJs, we're not there as models. We're not there to be looked at. We're there to actually perform just the same way as the dudes do. Those are one of the challenges being in a male dominated industry. One other thing would be the entrepreneur side. It shouldn't be that way, but on the entrepreneur side, especially the Web3 side, that I'm just there like a mascot. They think I'm just there to draw people in, right? Because, they got her because she looks good, she knows how to speak, probably knows surface level of what blockchain is all about. But that's how they see you when you're on stage. But what they don't know is that I could be heavy on the foundation of blockchain. Like I know cryptocurrency, I know the ins and outs of how NFTs can work.
You
But
you surprised me with a fair bit of AI knowledge. I recall.
oh yeah, and that too.
Tell you that.
That
That's hot. Hottest AI knowledge.
It is. It is though. It is hot. If you ask someone and they know a lot about AI without looking at their phones, okay? Because they may be they might be asking Grok or something.
What about poker?
Oh well, it's the assumptions that she's the only female player here. She doesn't know. She's just here because she has money for the buy-in, and let's go bully her. Let's 3-bet her. Let's 4-bet her, whatever position we're in. Which almost always get them into trouble. So I like that they have assumptions like that because I can use it to my personal advantage as a player. And I like playing dumb. I like playing like
No, so you like it.
I like to make them think that I don't know what I'm doing intentionally to see if they will bite. And if they do, then I know that they're at the palm of my hand. And I'm getting their stack.
Well, eh. Yeah, I mean, it could be an advantage in the men for sure. I've seen definite lewd comments. I've seen that a fair bit, considering I've not really like been hanging out in random casinos. But maybe it's different every place. Like the U.S. is one of the worst. I imagine Vietnam was huge on lewd comments. But what do I know?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the population of like in 25 tables in Poker Stars in where I usually play. If there's a main event there in Poker Stars, every table won't have a female poker player. Probably not even half of the tables. Not even 1/4 of it. But if there's a ladies only event, it changes. It means there's still a lot of women that feel a lot safer playing just with other women. And I need to know the answers too as to what makes them not want to play with guys. Because they know these guys. They talk to them, they converse with them, they eat with them, they smoke with them on break times. But for some reason, they don't like playing on mixed events. They just come here for the ladies only events. I have yet to discover, and when I do, I will let you know the answers.
Okay, well, by the way, Phil Lamuth is donating like $25,000 to a ladies only event in the U.S. If the U.S. is your scene, I know you're in the Philippines, but maybe that stuff appeals to you. I don't know. That sounds like a good situation. I don't
I
think
know.
that turns out. I don't know, like a couple ladies running these sorts of things. Well, I'm glad it's not so bad. I mean, the one funny thing is that video games and martial arts both have more women in them than poker, interestingly enough. I don't see why that can't change for poker. It seems like there's quite a lot of upside. But, I mean, the amount of women in martial arts surprises me personally, especially BJJ.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, that one really surprises me. But, all right, that's cool. What's the percentage of women in BJJ, by the way?
If I'm in a class on a usual regular class of less than 20, out of the 15 heads, there would probably be just 4 to 5. 5 tops.
That's still a lot. I mean, that's kind of a lot. 30%? 30, about third? Okay. Holy That's way more than poker. That's like literally 10 times more. What are you working on now, and what is it that excites you? Is it in DJing? Is it in poker? Is it in Web3? Is it in entrepreneurship? What is it?
These days would be merging everything that I'm a part of and being able to use and utilize what I know and seeing it in a different way versus as to how they are used to doing some things. It can be in music, it can be in poker, it can be in technology, it can be a mix of everything that I do. But these days, it's mostly in music production, AI, which you know already, poker. Yeah.
Okay, is there anything specific?
There's something that I've been working on, and hopefully by 2026, it's something that you and I can freely talk about.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm interested to know more, and I appreciate that.
And I'm excited to be a part of the Jungleverse.
All right.
And there's a
Yeah.
Jungleverse.
Actually, yeah, you've been already help for us, and hopefully you can be more of help for the Jungleverse. It's a community project. We're a community now. But yes, thank you for the shout out too. We'll have to investigate that more. I mean, I do want to branch overseas, etc. as well, and do more stuff in Asia. I do. Asia is my favorite continent, actually. even though I'm American.
I'm going to see you on February when you go to China. Hopefully, we could set up some sort of, I don't know, maybe like a meet and greet, maybe just a day pass by here in the Philippines. I don't know. We'll work something out, but for sure, February, I'm going to come see you.
Cool. Well, I'll see you in Asia sometime relatively soon. I guess the Jungleverse could be sounds like it's in the future for Patty.
Yeah.
It does combine a bunch of those things that you're talking about, to be fair. Not yet crypto, but we could get that one in.
Some things are NDA for now.
Fair enough. We got to wrap things up now, Patty, but thank you so much for your time and patience.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon then. Go, Jungleman! Woo, Jungleman!
Good luck at the tables and also spinning the tables.
Yeah, spinning the tables. I see what you do there.
All right, I'll see
Peace
you later.
out!
Hi guys, I'm Dan Cates, and you may know me from poker as Jungleman. And now I'd like to give you the keys to that success so that you can have success in those games as well, and in fact win the game of life. And that begins with freedom.
And you want to have the community to help you to get there, join the Jungleverse now. We've got many of the tools and many of the links towards the best stuff that's out there in the poker market, and I'm committed to helping you guys become real champions of the game and make your dreams come true. That's my goal for you all. Join here. I'm helping us all work together to make a better future for everyone.